Howdy, folks. Welcome to the latest episode of Sorcery Shenanigans. I'm your Dungeon Master, Wayne, and
I'm the only dragon in this dungeon, Trixie Mattel.
I put the whore in Horde. Katya.
yeah, so
It's Halloween, baby.
it's our Halloween episode, and the ladies decided to dress up, and I didn't bother again because it never works. Like whenever I try to dress up, it always falls apart 5 minutes in because I'm moving too much, or whatever. But they've put all the effort in, as you can clearly see. Fucking hell. So yeah, Trixie Mattel and Katya are with us.
Zamolodkova.
There you go. So they are with us for that's it. That I kind of I'm
Questing Queens too.
yeah, I'm still in shock about this. We jumped onto the stream and I was like, the cameras kicked in. I'm like, what the like I knew it was happening. I just didn't know it was going to be happening to this degree. So fair play to you, props. Jesus. Okay.
We've been threatening it for a while, though, to be fair.
Yeah.
We have. And I am quite Trixie and she's a little bit Katya, so it was gonna happen sooner or later. And unfortunately we didn't get to do it in person, but I have to say the Zoom lighting and stuff is working for this. Because she's a bit of a Monet, I think.
Right. Okay.
Right. Great.
Claude, distance, not Exchange, I presume.
Sorry?
Claude Monet, not Monet Exchange.
Yes. Yeah. That's it. That Monet.
Both of them worked really well with sponges. So there you go. So welcome to the latest episode of Sorcery Shenanigans, episode 13. And before we jump straight into it, I just want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Dempsey Comics. We have a giveaway from them this month, and we have a new prize for this month, which is actually a really, really good one. And I'll give the details for it at the break or after the break. And we have a giveaway for last month's prize, which is the Once and Future King, like the collected edition, volume 1 hardback. We're giving away pulling out the winner of that at the break. So check out Dublin City Comics on their website and also on their store on Capel Street. Our ongoing sponsor, fantastic bunch of people, cannot recommend them enough. So without further ado, where we last left off, both Zilzara and Gray found themselves kind of entered into a kind of an agreement with a local trader who was doing them a favor for looking after Captain Migna in her comatose state. They agreed to take part in a race representing their kind of business in this race throughout the pirate city of the Flotsam. The race was about to take place that particular day, but they had a couple of hours to kill, so they went to do a bit of investigation. Zilzara went to find a vendor, was to give her some more information about the predicament that they currently find themselves in with their arcane tattoos, the curse that they both find themselves under, and more information about that, and also the god it represents, and the deity that is involved, and the reason for it. And Zilzara got a few pointers there about the followers of Saloon and a temple that they might visit in order to help them with this accursed infliction. While Gray visited the Cog and Sprocket Artificer and Enchanting, the company that they are representing, to find out more about this race and to find out about the team. They found themselves at the actual starting point. The race kicked off. They were both sent through portals to their individual relay spots. And just as everything was kicking off and the race was in full swing and the relays were happening, Zilzara noticed that there was a disturbance at the ground level, because Zilzara was up high on a platform above the city. And at the ground level, there was a disturbance and the streets erupted. And the Gargantuan Mimic that they had previously semi-healed it under the city, following an encounter with one of these fellow cursed acolytes of this deity Shar that they are trying to hunt down and find out more about, has seemingly cursed this Gargantuan Mimic. Gray partially healed it, but it has erupted from the underground of this city and up into the cityscape, climbing up on top of one of the arcane cubes that Zilzara was meant to basically run through, and now blocking the path of that part of the race. Arcane energy fizzling all around it. Gray at a distance saw this happen and decided to run headfirst into their obstacle in order to get to Zilzara. The obstacle being a large, enveloped cloud of pitch black smoke. While the fellow race members from other teams arrive just as Gray runs headfirst into this full enveloping smoke, into the pitch black of dark, as it wraps itself around you. And that is where we're going to pick up this month's episode. So Gray, you are running headfirst into this smoke.
I just want to rule something out, Wayne. We're sure it's not my pussy that is on fire.
Definitely not.
Different smoke.
Different smoke. Different pussy altogether.
Okay. Very good.
And it's going to be hard to tell whether you're talking about Katya or Gray in these situations when you mentioned that.
Yeah, that's it. It's Gray from now on.
Gray from now on. Yeah. So you run headfirst into this thick kind of you can taste it at the back of your throat. It's like it's kind of like that acidic flavor to this pitch black tarish.
It's an acquired taste, yeah.
It is an acquired taste, and you run headfirst in. The last thing you saw on both your left and your right was two members of the other teams rushing in behind you, and it's completely dark. You've no vision at all whatsoever. You can't see, even with like whatever senses you have. You start to reach out. What do you want to do in this point?
So, I have this appeared when the mimic appeared. This
is part of the course.
Perfect. So it was always a blackout part of the course.
So this was your obstacle. So every section of the race, the members of the team had an obstacle to overcome. So Zilzara's was this kind of Escher end of labyrinth kind of situation, like stairs and doors and stuff like that was surrounded by arcane energy and pitfalls and stuff like that. And that's what the mimic is perched itself atop of. It's now overlooking the city, and it's sucking the arcane energy out of this cube. It's off in the distance, but you have to go through this darkness in order to get to the far side. Yeah.
Okay. Let me see. Now we had our magic ability enhanced, didn't we?
You did. Yes.
Yeah. At the beginning, from our friends, the artificer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Very good. So, I mean, I'm just looking for a spell that says "see in the room and all." Is there a see through the mad room? Is there that?
There isn't, and there's no definite spell called that. But do you have anything that might help you? Do you have you don't have any spells that have to do with light or?
I had tons of that stuff, and as we went on, and it was never used, I recalculated.
Yeah, the dangerous
silly business, yeah. So no, she's not going to get help that way. So I'm just going to try and use my stealth and acrobatic ability to just make my way through here without braining myself.
Okay.
I have. I presume what my policy would be. I know which direction I'm going in roughly, and I'm going to try and go as the crow flies.
Great.
Until I have to go around.
You've got a 14 passive perception, and as you run in, you kind of take in your surroundings before you rush into the cloud, and you know the general direction you're going. You kind of start to stumble forward. Give me a perception check though, as you run further into this dark cloud.
Okay.
First roll of the episode. 14. You kind of start, not so much you're feeling your way, but you're also trusting your other senses. Your ears twist and prick up, and you're sniffing the air. Even though it's acrid, you can still kind of at the back end of it, you can still smell the city. Like you can still smell kind of other smells outside of the smoke. It's not overpowering you with that roll. And you kind of push your way forward, and you do hear other movement in this cloud with you. And you kind of hear stumbles, you hear curses in the dark, and it's like somebody falling over obstacles and tripping over themselves, and you definitely hear a solid thud to your right as somebody falls hard somewhere. You push forward. Give me a wisdom check, please. Just give me a wisdom check.
Okay, wisdom check. Let's do that.
Check 1, 2.
She's on the real dice tonight. We'll see if she stays in her bullshit. Fucking not for too much longer. That's 3.
3. Is that a 3 on the dice plus 1, is it?
2 on the dice plus 1, baby.
Okay. So, you feel as you're pushing forward and you do your senses stretch out and you can start feeling your way through the darkness, but then all of a sudden you kind of feel a creeping kind of feeling come over you, like your direction is turned slightly, as if somebody has taken you by the shoulders and spun you, and you find yourself going off kilter a bit, and you stumble forward again, and you trip, you fall and take 1 bludgeoning damage as you kind of hit the ground, stumble onto your knee, kind of catch yourself, you kind of grope out with your hand and you catch something hard and pull yourself up. Give me another perception check, please.
Will do. 14 again.
14 again. You pull yourself up again, and again you sniff the air in your ears, you kind of rotate your ears and listen hard, and you kind of focus a bit, and you hear more stumbling. And then just to your left, you hear a shuffle. And then there's like a sling, like a singing of a blade that swishes through the air. And you, with that perception check, you manage to just turn slightly as a blade just misses you. Like split second, you see this, the kind of, you don't see it, but you can feel it kind of rush through the air. And it's that unmistakable sound of a blade swinging past you as it misses hitting you. And you feel another body close by, and they move past you, kind of going to your left, but going in the wrong direction. And do you push forward? What do you do at this point?
Yeah, presuming I've recalibrated and roughly know which direction I was going, I'm going to try and push ahead as light-footed as possible.
Okay. Can you, at this point, give me a Constitution saving throw, please? As you move further into the darkness, you're breathing more and more of this smoke.
That is 12.
12. You find yourself coughing slightly, and even though you can't see anything, you can feel that your eyes are starting to water a bit. And you're stumbling forward. You're kind of catching yourself on a few things. You can feel your cloak getting caught on something. And there's a few things where you're kind of stumbling over and you're having to catch yourself every now and again. And then just off in the distance, you can't tell how far away, but there is a slight blinking of gold light. Just seems to flicker slightly, catching you, because out of all this darkness that you can't see, all of a sudden there's like something. It's like just a gold flash. What do you want to do?
Does it look like gold like natural light, or does it look like an eyeball of some monstrous creature?
It doesn't look like eyes, just a little flicker. It's like a golden flicker in the air. It's like it's like somebody's messing with a light bulb where they have the switch just halfway and it's going zzz.
Gotcha.
It just flickers ever so slightly.
So my thought is there's a little light, but it's being obstructed maybe by a hazard. So I'm going to make my way there, but so carefully, like with my bad paw out first.
Okay. You push forward again, and again, give me another perception check, please.
Okay. I don't mind these. For fuck's sake. This dice is going in the bin. That is a 7.
A 7.
I have a +4 to perception.
You kind of stumble again as you're reaching out, and the kind of the gold light caught you off guard, and you're looking up towards that, more so paying attention to your surroundings, and you catch yourself again, and you hit something hard on your left knee, and you kind of fall down and you take 2 points of bludgeoning damage as you kind of stumble and then careen forward and catch yourself on your elbow, and then have to pull yourself back up again. It's
my
at that
name
point.
Is cat to yourself on your elbow.
At that point, you hear a distant rumbling and a growl, and there's like a fizzle, and you see the darkness around you seems to just as if there's static electricity moving through it, and it flickers ever so slightly for a split second. It's gone, and then it's back again, and you can see the sky, and you can see the city around you, and you could see how far you'd actually moved, and you're a good bit now across these rooftops. You've traveled a fair bit, but there's still another bit to go. And the darkness then envelops you again. It's like the arcane energy was cancelled out for a second.
Oh,
with the darkness,
I think it's me.
And then the darkness comes back even heavier. And just before that, though, you saw ahead of you to your left, you saw the Githyanki, the female Githyanki who rushed in beside you, and she was just pushing further ahead. The other orc, I think it was a half orc that you saw on your right, is nowhere to be seen. You heard that hard thud, and you don't see them at all. But the Githyanki is a good bit ahead of you on the left, and they're rushing forward. The darkness envelops you once again, and it just immediately just wraps itself around you, and it's so disorientating. But you kind of push it back, and you rely on your other senses. What do you want to do at this point? You're kind of now stuck there in the center. The darkness has wrapped itself around you once more.
I'm still pointed towards where the light came from. Myself and the Githyanki are not in any race anymore. It's all completely changed. But I am going to... Yeah, they've made their way forward and I haven't heard them crashing out. So I'm going to head towards where the light was still.
Okay. As you push forward, kind of aiming yourself in the general direction where you thought the light was from, again you feel like there's something behind you. You feel like a body moving in your senses, in your kind of your tertiary sense. You're like, what was that? You kind of turn slightly, and you feel as if a hand is grasping you on the shoulder, and it's about to pull you back, and it's a cold touch. And
no,
it reminds you.
No, for me, dog. Yep.
It reminds you of something. It's like something you haven't thought of in a long time, but it's a cold, clawed touch that you felt once before, many, many moons ago, and it kind of takes you back slightly, and then you push through it, and the hand is gone. And the last time you felt that, you were back in the Confederation of Chisenta.
Yeah.
Back before all this started for you. That cold arcane touch. And it kind of chills you slightly, and it takes you off guard. What do you want to do?
Am I afraid of it physically, or just what it represents?
That's up to you. I mean, it's like, it's part of where you came from. It's one of the reasons why you're on this journey, why you found your friends, why you're out in the world now. You were running from this. So are you afraid this thing is going to catch you? Are you afraid this thing is going to come back?
No, I'm not. I want to investigate it.
Okay. Roll me. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, go on ahead, Wayne.
I'm going to say roll me a perception check if you want to check around your surroundings. If that's what you want to do. Perception or investigation, whatever you want to do at this point.
Okay, it's the same for me. So.
Okay.
Damn it, 12.
12. You turn, and again, the darkness is just around. There's nothing there. And you reach your hands out, and you feel nothing. And you turn again, and it's like you're pricked up your ears. You're sniffing the air. And whatever was there is now gone. They're not there. If whatever that was, they're gone. And as you recenter yourself again, off in the distance, you see that gold light, slightly brighter now. And it's actually taking more of a humanoid shape. It's not just a single point of light. There's a humanoid shape off in the distance.
Oh. There's either a human standing in front of it, or there's a human light, which we don't like so much, folks. Right, I'm gonna head for it, but I've got my little holy token, and I'm just gonna rub it just as a soothing mechanism, and I'm gonna head for the light. And there's somebody there, there's something there, so I'm not going to be running face first at it. Let's just say that.
Okay.
Unlike what I do if I saw Jill right now in real life, because that's mesmerizing.
You run forward, and you now find yourself kind of getting closer and closer, and the light seems to be moving with you. It's actually still, it's like it's trying to, you seemingly think it's starting to try to guide you, and you're moving forward at a steady pace, and there seems to be less obstacles. Your feet are moving more assuredly. You're more confident in your strides. You're pushing through, and while the darkness is still there and you still can't see per se, you can see that there is a light in the distance that's pulling you forward. And
is it a light that never goes out? You're welcome.
And you as you're moving forward, you're moving more steadily, more confidently. You can sense that off to your left, with your passive perception, you can sense off to your left that you're actually catching up. You seem to be catching up on the Githyanki, who was slowed down ever so slightly. And within a matter of minutes, you push through, and you're now out into the bright lights of the city as the kind of the darkness dissipates, and the natural light hits your eyes, and you catch yourself like you're stepping out into the sunlight for the first time, and you kind of pull your hand up, and you're looking around, and the Githyanki then emerges about 20 to 30 feet to your left about 5 minutes later, and you've moved forward a bit. What do you want to do at this point as you look off into the distance where this massive mimic is now sitting atop this arcane cube in the city?
Do I have a sense of where Zill is?
Yeah, I mean, you know that Zill was the next relay, and it's about her section. You can see that there's where you are now, there's ramps coming down off this rooftop, and they're moving down between buildings. So they're going down between buildings, and you can see just off in the distance, about 20 feet away of you down a bit, you can see the relay tent where Zilzara is meant to be. But you notice that it is damaged, and there is arcane energy crackling across the buildings in its area, and you don't see Zilzara from where you are.
Okay, I'm going to be heading vaguely in that direction, but I'm going to do something if I can.
Yep.
I can see our friend the Mimic, right? I can see him clearly.
You can see it off in the distance, yeah. It's like, so you have the relay station where Zilzara is meant to be, and then about another 20 to 30 feet in front of that where the ramps lead up to the cube, elevated in the air. The Mimic is up on top of it, it's like this huge pulsating mass. Now kind of half necrotic on one side, covered in like burnt fleshy hues, green oozing pus, large clumps of it are falling off into the city below, and its large maw is like twisted and distorted as this huge like gaping teeth like as it screams across the cityscape.
It would do that, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Let me see. I'm tempted to distract it.
No, it is a good bit distance away. You're talking a good 40 to 50
very
feet
far away.
Yeah. So what?
So I mean, it's within sight range, so I could possibly cast something.
You could.
Yeah. I might. I mean, I did it before, and it's such token nothing, but it's kind of a vibes idea. I want to cast Cure Wounds at the Mimic.
Okay.
And not a very good one, just a baby one, just to go, hey bro, remember me? I did this before. So just
Cure Wounds is touch.
Cure. Sorry, I meant Healing Word. Sorry. Healing Word. Is he within 60 feet of me?
He would be, yeah.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna try that.
I love how opposite your instinct is. Because Z's instinct is to kill it with fire. Well, cold.
Yeah.
Like you're just on the edge of 60. You're on 60 feet. Like if you move down a bit further, you'll get closer. But you're just on the edge of 60 feet. On the edge of. All right.
Very good. I'm going to use Healing Word when a creature of my choice regains hit points equal to 1d4 plus my spellcasting ability modifier, which should be +2. It's not going to do very much, but it's just like
you have a +3 modifier.
+3. Oh, I do. Yes. Sorry.
Yeah. So you're casting it at first level, are you?
First level, yeah.
Okay. You reach out and you cast the spell, and you look, and just at the cusp of your vision, you can see a small clump of it, the flesh kind of just knit together.
Tiny bit of it, yeah.
Tiny bit of the flesh knit together. Give me how many points does it regain?
Let me see. It does 3. It's gonna be a 6.
A 6. Okay.
A 6, baby 6.
Right. It doesn't react to you in any way, shape, or form. It's still like writhing and twisting itself, and it's wrapped around this arcane cube, and there's like blue energy crackling off it like lightning and zapping into it and then zapping out onto the streets below. And you can hear at this distance now the screams and shouts. And you notice as you are you moving closer? Are you staying where you are? What are you doing at this point?
Yeah, I'm heading towards Zill, so I'll probably end up moving closer to it, Joe.
You move down towards it, and you can hear now people screaming, but you also see like other race members, like people taking part in the race, are reaching that point at this now, and they're all kind of stopped and frozen. They're kind of going, "This isn't part of it. What the fuck?" But you see then on rooftops, you see part of the guard have arrived, and they're all either preparing spells, weaponry, longbows, like kind of long range weapons. There's some with actual rifles, weird long pipe shaped things, spellcasters. They're just all kind of starting to surround the area, but they're only just arriving, pretty much behind you. You arrive in, and you see where the relay station where Zizaro is meant to be. Part of it's torn away. Part of the platform is gone. Part side of the building to one side is ripped ripped into pieces, and there is no sign of Zozar.
Can I investigate it further?
Yeah, give me an investigation check there.
Okay.
And while you're doing that, we are going to cut
while I'm doing nothing, Wayne, you can go directly into whatever you were going to do, because I just rolled a 1.
You are at a loss. The sign of destruction here. Your panic it grips you, and there is decay kind of all around you as you notice part of the buildings are starting to kind of rot, and the smell from the mimic at this distance is overpowering, and it just knocks you for 4 or 6 as you're looking around. You can't see Zilzara.
Yes.
You wake up covered in rubble.
Like this.
Fully makeup done, face completely. You're like, what kind of rubble is this? I'm fully dragged out.
Sorry, I wake up covered in rubble. So there has been an explosion.
Yeah, so you basically, what happened was the last thing you remember is standing on the platform, the race official there with you, looking up as this mimic crawled its way up on top of the arcane cube, and then there was a massive explosion, and you were blown through a building. You took 5 points of bludgeoning damage as you straight through a brick wall, and you kind of pull yourself up. You are dazed, covered in just makeup, and you start to look around. What do you want to do at this point?
Sorry, just taking the.
I mean, while she's thinking, there. Jill's lighting is the exact untucked lighting from season 4, 5, and 6.
Sorry, it's really hard not to do that. Anyway, so I roll investigation to see, I presume because it's covered in rubble, is it dusty? Can I see what's is there any arcane smoke?
Oh no, you can. So the side. Let me describe the scene for you. So you're covered in rubble, but the whole side of the building is gone. You are standing there, and you have a perfect it's a lovely balcony view basically of the city street, because the whole side of the building's been blown in, and you're kind of in under the rubble. You pull yourself out. You weren't completely covered and buried, but as you stand up, you can see out onto the streets below, and you see just above you the bottom part of the cube. And you can see parts of the mimic wrapped around it, and its flesh is it's literally melding into becoming part of this cube, and it looks like it's absorbing the arcane energy from it. The stench is overwhelming. It's like decay and rot, mixed with the burnt ozone smell of arcane energy. And you're kind of looking up, and as you look around, give me a roll there on the old perception or investigation, one or the other.
Sure. Let's go with perception, I guess. 7.
You're trying to look around to kind of take in your surroundings, and you just see just basically decimation around you. The whole area is just there's debris all over the ground below. You're about 2 stories up, and you can see down onto the street. You can see the gaping hole in the ground where the mimic came up, and you can see bodies and body parts, and there is blood in the area that you're in, but it's not yours. You cannot see the race official anywhere, but there is a large pool of blood to the left side of the rubble that you were under, that is much more heavy, and it's kind of just starting to pool out onto the floor, kind of seep into the dust and the debris. But with the screaming and the shouts and all this energy that's crackling above you, and you can, like, your brain is humming from all of this magic in this close space, but you can't really take in anything else. You do know that, like, you were about another story up and across, so you were blown kind of half a block over, like half a street over.
Oh, okay. So the mimic isn't as close as it was initially because I was right in front of it.
You're right in front of it, but you're now kind of down and to the side.
Okay, grand.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage debris all around.
In terms of, so the magic and stuff that I can sense around, can I tell what source it's coming from, or is it just from the cube, or is there
it's definitely, there's a lot. The cube was a huge arcane kind of siphon. It was like the whole thing was arcane energy. It was suspended in midair by magic, and a lot of the stuff, the pitfalls, traps, and energy inside it was all pure arcane energy. You can see now, even with that road, looking up, you can't miss it. It gets right there in front of you. You can see that the mimic is trying to absorb it and trying to revitalize itself. You kind of guess it's revitalizing itself from this thing, but the arcane energy is starting to falter. And as you look around, you can't really see much else. Not with that roll, unfortunately.
Okay. See, unlike my soft-hearted friend, Zill's instinct is not to save the mimic; it's kill it with fire. And I'm gonna try and climb up the damaged building to a better vantage point.
Okay.
So to kind of get a clearer view of the mimic. And can I? You were saying when when Gray came over that there were other magic users and people kind of assembling to tackle this thing?
They were kind of up on the rooftops. You can't see them at all. You're not aware that they're there, but they're starting to arrive because they, like, the officials and the guards of the city know that this is not meant to be happening. Like, these mimics are not meant to be on the surface, and this is not meant to be part of what's happening in the race. So they're now coming to aid and try and do something about it. But you're not aware that they're there. You're just, all you can see from your vantage point is the bottom kind of, it's to your left, and you're looking at the bottom part of the cube, and you can see the mimic is starting to wrap more and more of itself around the cube, taking it in, enveloping the whole thing.
Okay, I'm gonna try and climb up the building, see if I can see better.
Okay.
Do I need to roll a?
Please, you can give me an acrobatics or an athletics, your choice.
We'll go with acrobatics. 12.
There is a lot of, like, wooden beams hanging out that give you a very much a step laddery situation, and part of the kind of structure had fallen and collapsed over and is linking the other building, and it's quite easy slope to kind of climb up. It takes about 2 minutes or so, and you pull yourself up, and there's the odd arcane burst, and it misses you just by a couple of meters as you pull yourself up onto the next floor. And you're now kind of level with the base of the cube. You can see the base of the cube as you kind of pull yourself into the next building over.
Can I see? Can I presume I'll have to roll an investigation again, but can I see, is there any evidence around the cube as to what released the mimic up?
What was that, sorry?
As to how the mimic managed to get out.
Well, the mimic just climbed up. So you had already watched it climb up onto this thing. It pulled itself up the side of the building and up on top, because the arcane energy seems to have enticed it and drawn it out. It burst through the streets and up into the world and up onto the cube and began to suck the arcane energy out of it. You do remember, and this is, you don't have to roll for this, but you do remember when you were down in the base of the city, you garnered that these mimics were what were powering the city.
And as
you kind of pull yourself up, you notice for the first time a lot of the kind of lamplights and light in the air, anything that was arcane by nature that would have ran in this part of the city. You notice that the streets are dark. Well, not dark, it's daytime, but like there's definite like lack of energy, like stuff is shut down. There are any streetlights that would have been lit or any signage that would have been on that would have required arcane power. They're all dead. And I'm kind of just looking out the window, and you know that it kind of, this mimic would have been powering parts of the city, and it's now been drawn to this arcane energy above the city. So yeah, is there anything else you want to do at this point?
I'm trying to decide whether I want to contain it for the minute until I'm hoping that, like, obviously I don't know what's happened to Gray, but I'm hoping that he's managed to make his way from his side over. I probably should. I am keeping an eye out as I'm climbing up to see if I can see anybody I know. I presume it's chaos. You said there's bodies everywhere, so
yeah.
There's no reason to even recognize Gray if he's covered in soot and shite from the buildings. As a way of kind of not killing the mimic but containing it, I was gonna try and cast Rhymes Binding Ice to at least slow it down. But but I'm gonna try and cast it at 4th level, I think.
4th level spell. We go. So
yeah, go on.
Tell us what the spell does.
So it requires so it's Constitution
Con
13,
save of 13.
Con save of 13, sorry. So burst cold energy emanates from me in a 30-foot cone. Each creature, so in this case it's going to be targeted at the mimic as much of its surface area as I possibly can. In that area must make a con saving throw. On a fail save, creature takes 3d8 cold damage and is hindered by ice formations for 1 minute or until another creature breaks away. So I have used it before. And I quite like it, and in my head it looks cool.
Okay, let me have a look at the con. Okay, the mimic has quite a high constitution modifier, so let's see how bad I roll.
30-foot cone, that's my Friday night, honey. Oh, honey.
I rolled really bad.
I have to roll for this as well, don't I?
No, you roll damage. That's all, but I have to roll the con. So roll your damage. So it's 3d8 cold damage at 4th level. Now I rolled really bad. It has a +5 to Constitution, but I rolled a 4.
Oh dear.
So it hits, and it takes the full damage, and it's hindered by ice for 1 minute.
Okay, so hang on, I just rolled damage.
So, Gray, while Zilzar was rolling her damage, you are kind of up.
19
points of damage into it. Okay, you were up at the platform, and you see down. You see then coming from a window just down a level, 1 floor down to your right. You see this burst of cold energy just shoot out and catch the base of this arcane cube and the mimic, and it starts to creep up, and kind of icicles start to form, and large shards of the frozen mass just start to. As it traps the base of the mimic to the cube, and you hear the mimic's this horrible, deep, guttural scream of kind of pain and just anger as it's now kind of frozen in place, and it's at the top part of it's kind of wriggling and moving, but it's definitely stuck there, and you can see where that energy came from as it takes 19 points of damage.
I'm just trying to expect myself, and I'm not sorry for that.
I don't want to destroy a city's power source, but dear God, this is mean. This thing is half a brick wall and half the angriest thing we've ever seen in existence. So it's also it's Hulkamania gone wild, so I think I'm probably gonna have to hurt it now.
Yeah, like the power's already fucked. So like
yeah. So I think we should probably try and get out of here alive. So I hate to do it to him. I might try something a bit more benign. I might cast Tasha's Hideous Laughter, trying to try and get it to stop wrecking the gaff for a little bit.
That is also.
So, yeah.
So Tasha's. I have to roll again, don't I, for that? Tasha's City's Laughter. It's a.
Yeah, let me get it here.
It's a wisdom save.
It is. So,
okay. Wisdom isn't as good as con. It's still all right though. Let's see. Okay.
Yeah, wisdom. Wisdom saving throw. It has to be 14, and it leaves it prone.
This dice is going in dice jail for tonight.
Oh my god, what is up with all of us? What is going on?
I rolled. Well, it's good for you when I roll bad, but
yeah,
I rolled a 2 + 3, which is 5.
Yeah. Do you think the dice gods look poorly on our mocking of femininity? Right. So. What did they get?
You cast. They got a. They rolled a 2 + 3, so I got a 5.
Oh,
and it had to be a 14, so I failed. So, wow. So you cast Tasha City's Laughter on this gargantuan, infected, corrupted, dark mimic, and it's now been frozen in ice, and this horrible, gurgling sound starts to bubble up from beneath, like it's mass, and you just hear this like as it gyrates, but also frozen in place on top of this magical gleaming cube in the city, as this horrible sound starts to echo out across the rooftops, and you hear like what the fuck from some of the guards, and like, you know, some of them are actually starting to throw up because of the stench, and this whole situation is just so bizarre and weird. And it's so that is, it's up to a minute. It's also frozen for up to a minute, and it's concentration on your part, so you have to hold concentration on it. At the end of each of its turns, and we're not in combat at the moment, each of its turn it takes, and each time it takes damage, the target can make another wisdom saving throw. The target has advantage on the saving throw if it's triggered by damage. On a success, the spell ends. So I think every couple of seconds, every couple of rounds, depending on what you're doing, I'm just going to roll to see if it beats Tasha City's Laughter. Okay, I'm going to use a different dice this time. So, what do you want to do at this point? Gray, you kind of have an idea that there's somebody down there casting ice spells. I mean, who else could it be? Zilzara, you're now down. So is there anything, Zilzara, you want to do at this point? You've frozen it. You now see the creature go into convulsions of what you think might be laughter, but you're not 100%.
But I still can't see that it was Gray that obviously cast that spell.
You can give me a perception check now at this point. Actually, both these have cast magic at this point. Both these give me a wisdom save, please.
Okay.
So a wisdom save, he says.
Now watch me, Wales. Okay, 13.
14.
14. You both feel a presence trying to push into your mind, and then you resist it. Both at the same time, but it's familiar.
The gay agenda, man.
Gay agenda.
So you both recall at the same time, as you're casting your magic, your arcane energy streaks out, and then there's that kind of itching at the back of your mind of somebody trying to push in and communicate. Both these feel this at the exact same time as you casting. Make of that what you will. You can now, Gray, you now see guards moving forward, and some of them are casting more ice type spells or containment spells around this mimic. There's nobody's kind of shooting anything, but they're holding, you see them with crossbows that have arcane symbols up the side with like what look like crystal kind of shaft bolts in them, and they're all lined up, and more guards are arriving, and they're holding it at this mimic as it kind of is now laughing and frozen in place on top of the cube. There's more spellcasters casting more things that seem to be containing parts of it. Zill, are you staying where you are? Are you moving anywhere? What do you want to do?
I'm going to stay where I am, actually, because I want to actually, let me just double check. Does that spell require me to keep holding it?
Binding Ice? No, Binding Ice, I think
No.
it's just, you just cast it. It's instantaneous. It's a con save. That's
No,
it.
it's the sleet storm that I have to keep concentrating
Yes.
on. Right. Falls.
Binding with the ice. Sorry.
La, 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 la. Okay. I'm going to shimmy down the way I came up and see if I can find your man. Also kind of keeping a look out amongst the crowd, see if there's anybody that, first of all, we know, even if it's like another race member, so that we can see what happened, or if there's any kind of authority figures nearby that can.
So you're going to go back up a level to where the platform was. So you have to go up another level, climb out and go up another level to go to where the platform, because you got knocked down and through the building.
Yeah.
So give me another acrobatics check there as you're climbing up the debris. Gray, you can see that the guards are starting to contain things, they're starting to cast spells on this mimic. So 10, yeah. So you slowly start to pull your way up, and Gray, you're standing now, kind of looking around after casting Tasha's Hideous Laughter. You're concentrating on that spell. The mimic seems to be held for a very brief moment at this point. And just as you're kind of contemplating what to do, you see Zilzara's head poke up out of a hole down on the far right side of the building, that you're kind of standing next to, about good 10 feet away from you. You can see her head pop up as she kind of pulls herself up.
Right. Can she hear me from here?
Yeah, you see 10 feet away from you to your right.
Oh, yeah. I know what feet are. Anyway, Sil, hey!
Hi. You made it.
Yeah, you too.
What the hell is going on?
I don't know. I kind of want to free this guy, but I think that's kind of dumb at this point.
Yeah, well, also I kind of want to contain it, so maybe don't do that.
Yeah, I saw the eyes. That's different for you. I like it.
I change it up a bit. Remix.
Yeah. Well, what are you gonna do next? Can I help?
I was considering taking it out, but also, like, I think maybe, I don't know, maybe leave it to the authorities, or...
Yeah, these guys seem legit.
Yeah, super legit. What about what about the rest of the race? Like, what are we supposed to do now? I figure that's
probably reset, right? It's elaborate. And I mean, how much got messed up? Just this section?
Yeah, well, my section is totaled.
They might reroute.
Sorry?
They might reroute it.
So what do you think is going on with this mimic escaping?
I don't blame it. All this magic probably drew it. Or alternatively, I'm telling all y'all it's a sabotage. I mean, does anybody not want this race to happen? Does anybody just want a load of competitors to perish? I don't know. But I think probably it was drawn up by all this activity. I was in a magic room. I was surrounded by magic, and it's gonna want to be near that, I think.
Yeah. And you managed to get out. Obviously, I didn't even get started.
Yeah, it was weird. I didn't even get first in my room, but the race wasn't really on. So, yeah, there was some weirdness. Wayne, the cold hand business. Do I feel like keeping that private?
That's your call.
I'm gonna tell Zil that I got a bit of a throwback in the room, and I mean, I don't know whether it's there all the time. I don't know whether that's just a hazard they have, but it felt like something personal for me. I don't know. Do you sense any involvement from either of your goddess girlfriends?
Can I can I roll an Arcana check?
Sure. Yeah, you can kind of reach out. Yeah, go ahead.
11.
So you kind of
there's some gentle rolls going on here.
I know, what the fuck, like.
You kind of as Gray tells you about his kind of worried situation where he kind of felt he was interacted with by something from his past that wasn't good. You kind of try and focus a bit, even with the chaos around you. And all of a sudden as you're kind of focusing, you kind of reach out and you don't sense anything untowards in this space, bar the big fuck off mimic that's now kind of wrapped around the cube, iced up, but the laughter suddenly stops. And it kind of starts to kind of rumble a bit and shake, and you hear as the ice starts to break and crack. And you hear a couple of voices from the rooftop now. Zil, you're taking it in for the first time. You can see the guards and a couple of other the race entries are all kind of crowded around the roof, and you hear somebody shout, "So it's moving again! It's moving! It's moving! Contain! Contain!" And there's a bit of panic and hustle and bustle as you hear a kind of a guttural rumble as your ice cracks and falls away. It starts falling to the ground below and shattering on the kind of the cobblestones on the streets, and you hear people screaming and shouting. And there's more arcane kind of discharges from the rooftops now as the casters that were trying to contain it now at this point are basically full on attacking it. And large clumps of the mimic starts to slough off and fall. And not straight down, and at different angles, as if they're projectiles, and they kind of careen into the roof and break off into chunks of pulsating flesh. And one or two kind of zip over, and one of them slams into the wall beside you, Gray, and you kind of have to duck out of the way. Give me a dex save on that one.
Okay, let's do that.
But you notice about 6 or 7 of these pieces kind of hit the roofs above, and then 3 or 4 land kind of on the platforms you're on. What did you get, Craig?
23, bitch. Finally.
Yeah, you just duck out of the way as the thing just like splats against the wall and slides down, and its pulsating mass just starts to kind of change and writhe. And you look as these shapes start to form, as parts of the mimic move up and take humanoid shapes, and you see partial armor that's similar to the guards, but it's twisted and deformed, and there seems to be necrotic rot across it, and these distorted humanoid faces with gaping mouths, all filled with pointy, sharp teeth, as they all rise up towards you. I need you both to roll initiative, please.
Oh, we're in, bro. 10.
Okay.
6.
Okay.
Oh my God, we're back.
I rolled a 1. Roll the fucking 1. So Gray first, because I rolled group for these 3 that are in front of you. Gray, Zil, and then Mimic. Right, okay. Alright, Gray, it's into you. What are you doing? You see
okay.
There's 3 of them appear up in front of you.
Okay. And they're undead?
They're seemingly parts of the mimic. That's all you know. They've come.
Yeah.
The mimic has kind of discharged these.
So they're like mimic puppets.
Lumps of it. Yeah.
Right. Right. Well, I'm gonna see if I can do some damage anyway. I've got my swanky dagger.
Oh yeah.
My ice dagger. So I'm gonna try and use that. 1d10. I have written beside this 1d10 plus 2. That's hardly the damage, is it, Wayne?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right. So, yeah, I'm going to try and stab the one that's nearest to me. There's 3 of them?
Yeah, there's 3. They're kind of all... So the platform that you're on, it's narrow enough.
Right.
Part of it's destroyed off to the right side where Zil came up out of the hole. That leads down to another level. But then they've kind of crowded in front of you, all 3 of them. The central one coming towards you, Gray, and the other 2 kind of backing it up. But they kind of move towards, because you're closest to them, because Zil is kind of behind you after coming up out of the hole. But it's a very tight platform, like they're 3 across, and there's no movement on either side.
Right. I'm I don't get bonus actions or anything like that.
Yeah, your bonus action, you've Bardic Inspiration and Healing Word. Your bonus action.
I could. I might cast Bardic Inspiration on myself.
Okay.
I'm gonna sing "You're the best around, never gonna keep it down," and then I'm gonna stab the one closest to me.
Okay. Roll to attack.
Roll to attack. See, I don't have the problem is I don't have this dagger. I don't have on D&D Beyond, so I have to. I don't know what.
Sorry, it's a plus 2 to hit.
Plus 2 to hit. Okay.
I thought I sent you the
Oh,
stat.
17. Yes, you did.
17.
Yes, you did. Yeah.
But yeah. So 1 second now. So 17. Yeah, that hits. So roll damage.
Very good. 1d10 plus 2. Oh, 9 and 11.
11 points of damage. And what is the effect that the dagger does?
So, I have it all here. Sorry, it's okay. I'm so dependent on D&D Beyond now. It freezes. I have it all somewhere. Sorry. It does 1d4 cold damage as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. It can do a long range spell or a short range stab attack.
Yeah. So you can actually cast a spell through it. It's a focus that you can cast a spell through. So you can cast the ice knife with it at a distance if you want, or you can get in close and stab, but you still get the cold damage. So roll the d4 as well to get your cold damage.
Okay. All right. A 1.
A 1.
So 1d4, so 1. Yeah.
Okay. So you stab in with the blade and it slices into the kind of the necrotic flesh, and you twist it. As you twist it, then the ice damage blasts out, and you can feel the cold against the hilt as the kind of the mimic's flesh just kind of freezes a bit, and you pull it back out, and there's like ice shards and crystals kind of flick off the blade. You've done some damage, and it kind of like as it kind of moves towards you. Silzara, it's into
you. Oh, sorry, just the Ryan's Blinding Ice that I cast on the Mimic earlier. I said I had said I was going to cast it at 4th level, but I only rolled 3 dice for damage. So can I say I rolled it at 2nd level instead rather than taking the spell slot?
Sure.
Cool.
I will allow it.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm an idiot.
Don't worry about it. At 4th level, yeah, it's 5d8. Nice to have spotted that. Yeah.
Yeah. So instead, what I would like to do, there are 3 blobs of Mimic, right?
Yeah.
So I would like to throw Magic Missile at 4th level, which means there are 2 darts per individual because it's an additional 3 at 4th level.
Yeah. Automatically hit.
Yes. So now I have to roll a load of 40s.
Yep.
For these nuts.
As Gray moves out of the way and pulls the blade out and steps to one side, then Zilzara just reaches her hands out and there's like a charge of purple arcane energy as the magic missiles just kind of just straight out of her hands and spin through the air, careening into each of the individual mimic zombies. So, and they all just get blasted back with the old force damage. It's force damage, isn't it? Yeah, force damage.
So it's 1d4 plus 1 per dart.
Yes, per dart.
So it actually works out that each individual took a total of 7 because I got 3 darts.
Okay.
A total of 5 and 3 with a total of 2. So spread it evenly, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's totally fine. 7 points, did you? Each?
7 points of damage each, please.
And they're kind of rocked back slightly from the first damage, and they kind of start to pick themselves up and they start pushing towards you. The first one is going to move in on Grey and raises up its hand, and from its hand then you see the flesh forms and elongates, and a blade forms and changes into kind of rusted and blackened steel with black goo dripping off it. As it takes a multi-attack into you. It's a natural 20 on the first roll.
Oh, bitch.
Okay, so that's the first hit on the multi-attack. Second hit, and that's probably not going to hit. That's a 4 plus 5. It's 9 to hit. What's your AC? No. So the first one hits, and it's a crit. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, get wrecked. Double damage.
Yeah, not good. Where's my date? Roll this twice. Okay, rolling low actually. 16 points of damage into you as the blade slices down into you, right in front of you, and you kind of bring it down. They bring it down, and you feel like this black ichor just cut through your body like acid, and it starts to burn your fur as you take. It was 16 points of damage into you. That's it missed on the second attack. The one at the back then, Zil, is going to bring up. You see it kind of reach its hand out, and the fingers elongate and form, and you see a crossbow kind of push out from the flesh, and it starts to fire off, and this kind of large black lump shoots through the air towards you. That is 30 20 to hit. I take it that's going to hit you.
Yes.
It's not a crit, but it's a dirty 20. And that is... Must be D10. That is 4 points of damage into you. And it just starts to burn across your armor. I need both of you actually to make a Constitution saving throw for me, please.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Sorry.
18.
Okay, you're all right.
Sorry, my
Monzil.
my D&D Beyond has had a brain fart.
It's all right, it happens. Do you want me? I can roll for you if you want.
What's the... You said it was a Constitution.
Con save. Yeah, con save.
So what's my thingy?
Your con is +3. So roll D20 now, 3. 10. That's exactly what you need. So both of you shake off the effects of this necrotic poison that seems to try and push itself into your body. The third attack again pushes in, and you see it. It kind of swings its arm out towards you, Grey, and it starts to kind of form a long pointed blade. I think T-1000 Terminator 2, but it's like black necrotic flesh that's forming instead of metal, and it kind of swipes it out towards you. It's this blade forms in its hand. It's going to do a multi-attack on you. First one is a 3, a +5, which misses, which is 8. It's a 2 +5, which is 7. So I think both of those hit miss. So it swings out, and it kind of in the close proximity is trying to swing, and it kind of lashes its arm off the brick, and it goes wide as you duck below the blade. That's the end of their go. It's back to the top of the round. Grey, it's into you. While all of this is happening, you can hear shouts and arcane discharges and clanging of metal up above you, because you're kind of down. You can think about like an elevated alleyway between the two buildings, and the roofs are on either side of you. You can hear the fights going on up there, and you can hear the kind of the writhing and the kind of grunting of the mimic behind you, but it doesn't seem to be engaging itself, very much leaving the fighting up to these kind of representations or avatars that it's shot out into the world. So Grey, it's into you.
Right. That was not a lot of damage that I did. I keep trying to hit people, but I'm just a little kitty the cat. But you just gotta do what you gotta do. I'm going to I'm gonna aim at the one I got the last time with my bow.
Okay.
I'm gonna shoot my bow. I'm gonna absolutely eat shit. I'm gonna roll a 2.
Oh fuck.
So I got a
8. It's like putting the short bow in, and again, it just careens off the side of the brick. Just ricochets and clatters off into the distance. Do you want to do a bonus action? Do you want to try and move?
Yeah, I'll get out of the way because I reckon he's
engaged with this thing, so it will get an attack of opportunity on you if you want to move out of the way.
Yeah.
You also have your bonus action as well.
Yes, I'm going to disengage if I can there.
I don't know if you have disengage. You can't. You're gonna have. You don't have the rogue action to disengage, so you can move out of the way, but it will get an attack of opportunity on you.
Oh well, it's gonna attack me anyway where I am. So
yeah.
Yeah. So Asher will just leave it. I'll take my lumps. I'm sure I'll be fine. Wink, wink.
Okay. Right. So that's the end of your go. See now. Yeah, Zilzara's into you.
I'm gonna hit each of these guys with a magic missile again at second level, which means there's only one dart each. One dart.
Okay.
Also, how far away from me is Gray?
Gray is about 10 feet away from you at this point, because Gray's moved in to engage with the first one. So they're about 10 feet away from you.
Okay. I'm wondering if this is possible. And I think I'll have to ask you first. So I want to throw my magic missiles.
Yeah.
As my bonus action, take 2 paces, grab Gray, and Misty Step.
Bitch. I love it.
I like it. I like it.
Oh, I'm going to throw the missiles first anyway, because they're going to hit.
I don't know if you're able to carry someone with your Misty Step.
Yeah, you check that while I'm doing this.
Okay, I will. I'll just check because
They all got 3 each. 3 damage.
Okay. Each. No. As cool as it could be to do Misty Steps. Okay. You can't you can only teleport yourself. You can't teleport another creature with you. There is, I think.
That's okay.
There is another spell. There is another spell you can do. That isn't Misty Step that allows you to carry somebody, but Misty Step doesn't allow.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage, Misty Step.
I think that was one of when I did the drag D&D game for Dimension 8. I think that was one of the queens was called Misty Step.
Absolutely has to be.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, yeah, no, you can't. There's no. I'd love to be able to give you a way out of it, but no, you can Misty Step, no problem whatsoever. But you're not able to carry Gray with you, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm gonna Misty Step out of the line of fire.
Where are you gonna go?
Away. Is there any ledge above me that I could Misty Step to?
There's so you're in the center on this kind of platform, man-made platform or creature-made platform that's part of the race where you came down into where your registration tent was after you teleported in. It's in between 2 buildings, so it's a platform that's elevated between 2 buildings. About 10 feet up on either side is the wall, and then there's the roof, a flat roof, a wooden roof. And up there on either side of those roofs are 2 other pieces of combat going on with the guards and fellow race attendees and the other mimic zombie creatures, avatars that have been shot out. So you can go back towards where Gray's dark cloud is.
Yeah.
Or behind you then is where the cube is with the large mimic wrapped around it.
Yeah, I'm just now that you say it, I'm like, actually, is Misty stepping away the best plan? Because if I step away from these 3 guys, there's just more, as you say, there's other bits of combat going on around.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna move kind of out of range.
Okay. Range. You've got about 5 to 10 feet behind you, and then it's a straight drop down. You have then Grey, who's about 10 feet away from you, and then you have the 3 avatars, mimic avatars, where Grey is. So you don't really have a lot. The only other option is to go down back through the hole you came up.
Yeah.
So what do you want to do?
No, I'll stay where I am.
Okay, so each of those took 3 damage on the magic missiles that you shot out again, as they get peppered. Okay, that's the end of Zill's go. The 3 avatars are going to step up. The first one, again, is going to swing out and cut down at Grey with the Shimtar. You see what's cocked. It's going to miss. That's an 8. First attack. Second attack. That is a 14.
If it's exactly the same as my AC, does it hit?
It hits. Yeah, it hits.
Yeah.
Okay, so damage.
Seems like something I should know by now, right?
It's 8 points of damage into you, and I need a Constitution saving throw, please.
Dag nabbit. All right, and I have to do a con save as well?
Yes, because as the blade cuts through you, more of this black necrotic kind of acidy type substance kind of starts to melt into your fur.
Right, that's a 9. What was the damage, Wayne?
It was 8 points of damage first, and it's a 9
grand.
On the con save.
And 9 was my roll.
You are now poisoned.
Fuck, and I'm on 11 hit points, bro.
Yeah, you are now poisoned. So poisoned on a turn, it means you roll your saves at disadvantage. So 1 second now. 1 second, I want to confirm that for you.
Okay, I'm just gonna go to the Pokemon Center. I'll be right back.
Second, yep. So yeah, so you are poisoned. That's the first attack against you. So you have disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks when you're poisoned for the next round.
Okay.
Okay. So the other one then is going to kind of push forward and is starting to make its way towards Zilzara. Again, it's going to raise its its heavy crossbow and take a pot shot at you, Zil. That is a 16 to hit. Does that hit? That hits? Okay. D10. D10. Oh, that's not too bad. That is 4 points of damage into you, and I need a Constitution saving throw as the bolt sticks in the shoulder, and you feel the kind of the necrotic, like the bolt itself just melts in, like it's the whole thing is made of necrotic poison as it's solid as it hits, and then it begins to melt into your skin. So gives a con save.
22.
22. You push off, you shrug off the poison,
nice,
and you kind of just to melt down your armor.
I take the 4 damage. Yeah.
You take the 4 damage.
Right.
Yeah. And then the third one is going to move in, and again is going to try and take a swipe at Grey. And that is going to. The first attack is going to hit for a 19, and the second one is going to miss
for 19.
First hits for 19, and then the second one misses. So it's only 1 hit into you, and that is 6 points of damage.
Oh, 6 points. I thought it was 19 points
of
damage.
No.
I'm gone. Okay. Right.
Okay.
Go on ahead.
No, that's it. That's the end of their go. It's now they're kind of moving forward. They've done their attacks, and they just seem to be mindless. Like their skin is still mottled and badly formed. It's like they're not fully formed creatures. They are partially the suggestion of what armor looks like, suggestion of limbs. It basically looks like bad AI art because they've got like 10 fingers on one hand and like it's just kind of twisted and deformed. As they kind of push
AI
towards
generated.
Yeah. So it's now back to you, Dre.
Yeah, I'm fucked. I am going to have to run, I think, or heal. Those are my options. So yeah, let's go with dash. Oh yeah, I am making a retreat.
Okay.
So Wayne, I'm gonna dash if I can.
You can dash, and they're going to get an attack of opportunity on them. 2 of them are going to get attack of opportunity on you because there are 2 of them on you.
So, right, there's 2 of them on me.
Yeah, because Zill's behind you. You moved in to engage with them. You stabbed at one of them. 2 of them came at you. 1 pushed past and is going for Zilzara now, but Zilzara was behind you the whole time, and you kind of moved in to engage with them.
I did, didn't I? Right. I'm sure I won't regret that at all. You see, this is the thing. Do you finish the battle or do you change out Pokemon? Let's see. I'm going to let me see. Check something. Okay, I might try and heal myself.
Go.
Like a bollock instead of getting out of here. Yeah, I think if I try and run, there's a chance they'll wipe me out on the bonus attacks. So I'm going to use Cure Wounds on myself.
Okay. At what level are you casting it?
I'm going to go all the way, bro. I'm going to go 4th level. No, I can't. No, I have no spell slots. Fuck. 3rd level.
Yeah, 3rd level, yeah. That'll give you 3d8 plus 3.
Yeah. Will I go ahead?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, and a 16. Thank God.
So you heal 16 points.
Heal 16 and then just be standing here waiting to see what they do. Okay, but I feel a bit better about it.
Okay. That is the end of your. Do you want to do your bonus action? You still have your bonus action as well.
I will. I'm going to sing a little kind of get pumped, and it sounds suspiciously like Take a Look Around from the Mission Impossible 2 soundtrack.
Right.
Towards Zill.
Okay.
People in the world today. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Cool. So that's the end of Grey's Go. Zilzara, it's into you. You have one of them now wearing. Yeah, go ahead.
Zill, you have for the next 10 minutes, you can add 1d8 to an ability check or an attack roll or saving throw.
Okay, cool. Thank you. That's what I was trying to check. Okay. I know these guys obviously have their kind of twisted humanoid shape. How solid are they? Like, are they?
They look like moldable. They look Play-Doh people, basically.
So
they look quite
Sleepstorm
squishy.
then, yes.
Yeah.
Let's water these fuckers down. I would like to cast Sleepstorm.
Cool.
Which means freezing rain and sleet will fall in a 20-foot tall cylinder, 40-foot radius. So around, I'm trying to get it around the 3 of them. Are they near enough together that I can get it around them?
If you cast it, you're all within that sphere. You're all within that section. So it's basically casting it on yourselves as well as them, because they're right on top of you. It's a contained space. You know, so you can cast it on them, but you will also have to roll the deck save as well.
What do you reckon, Gray?
I think you should do it. You've got an extra die if you need it, and I will deal with things as they happen.
I love your moxie. Okay, I'm gonna do it then.
Okay. So it's a deck save for everyone involved.
See, she took a look around. That's all I wanted.
There you go. Right, I'll do 3 separate rolls for these guys.
Okay.
I do not believe this. They all failed.
What?
They all failed. Right, so it's concentration up to 1 minute. It's a deck save of 13. I rolled a 6, a 3, and a 2. Wow. And they have no. You see the decks. They've got a +2, so none of them did it. So the ground in the area is covered with slick ice, making it difficult terrain. When the creature enters the spell's area for the first time on a turn, it makes a deck save. On a fail save, it falls prone. If a creature starts at the turn in the spell's area is concentrating on a spell, the creature must make a successful Constitution saving throw against your spell save DC or lose concentration. So they don't get any damage; they just all fall prone. Okay, so they all just like, and there's like a hard slapping sound of wet flesh. They just slip and hit the ground, all three of them. Now,
My Friday night, honey. Oh,
Did you two roll your deck saves?
Yeah, I got 13.
13. Okay, that's the DC, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you pass.
I have disadvantage, don't I, for this?
On deck saves?
On saves.
Yes, you do, because you're poisoned.
I'm poisoned. So let's try this. Oh, 7 is my lowest.
7. So Gray slips on her toe beans and unfortunately doesn't land on her feet like all cats and just goes hits the ground hard and is prone. That is the end of Zildar. Do you want to do anything else?
No.
Okay.
Do you know how hard it is for me to roll that low in dex?
Yeah, it's difficult. It is difficult, all right. But that's what disadvantage does here. Okay, let me see now. Right. They pull themselves slowly up off the ground, and it's not as if they just actually stand up as normal. They just form back into shapes, so they don't pull themselves up. They just, and then they're standing up again, T1000 style, but with flesh. And they're kind of now moving up. They've used half their movement getting up, and one of them, the one closest to you, Zildar, is going to go at you, and this time it's going to bring out Shimtar and it's going to strike down because it's close at you. Multi-attack. That's a nat 1. So the kind of the flesh kind of tries to form.
Itself.
The flesh tries to form and it doesn't form in time. So when it comes down, it seems to bend and buckle against itself, and it kind of just fails and it completely reforms itself. And as it buckles from its elbow, then the other blade comes out and it strikes upwards as a multi-attack, and that is an 11, and it misses with both attacks.
Okay, yeah.
The other two pull themselves up, Gray, and the one standing over you with the scimitar is going to strike down at you, and it has advantage on this because you're prone.
Yeah.
That is an 18 to hit.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see, where's my damage? That's garbage. That is 6 points of necrotic damage into you.
That's great. Can I interest you in fucking off entirely?
Second strike. It's a nat 1.
Hey.
No, hang on, nat 1 and a 7. So plus 5 is 11. Sorry, no. Plus 5 is 12. So that misses. So the first one hits, the second one misses. The other guy stands up and it starts pushing forward. And is seeing that the other one is leaning over you and that its buddy has missed Zildara, is going to stride towards Zildara. Now, they've started their turns in the space, so they're all going to have to roll a dex save again, so they don't fall down again. So,
right.
Actually, they should have done that at the start of that turn, shouldn't
they? If a creature starts its turn in the spell's area and is concentrating on a spell, you have to do a con saving throw, but it doesn't say anything about...
Yeah, okay, so they don't have to do it at the start of... Okay, grand. So right, so that the last one is then going to move towards Zildara and swing out with its blade. That's a 7 plus 5, which is 12. It misses, but not in jail. It's a 7. Both attacks miss on Zildara, just swinging wild as the sleet storm continues to batter them, and they can't see straight through their massive flesh face. That's the end of their go. There's nothing else they can do. So, Gray, it's back to you. You're prone on the ground. The other one is just pulling its blade back out of your body, and you're kind of trying to push through the poison.
Dickhead. I'm going to try and get him with my dagger, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just going to see if we can spin around and shiv him.
Cool. Are you going to stand up or are you going to do it from the ground?
Gonna do it from the ground if I can reach.
I think you get, if you do it from the ground, I think you have disadvantage.
Then I'll get up.
Also, I confirm that. You can attack while prone. The creature has disadvantage on attack rolls, so you have disadvantage. But you currently don't know how long does poison last on this. 1 second now.
I'm on the ground. Prone suggests you have to stay there until you're like held
No, you
up.
can stand up. You can stand up.
You can stand up. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stand up.
It costs you half your movement to stand Yeah,
Right.
so poison will last for 1 minute. So that's a long time in combat. So
Yeah.
So you can stand up, you pull yourself up to your full height, and do you want to go at this guy with the blade?
Can I if I do that?
You can, of course, yeah. So roll to attack.
I've used half my movement to get up.
Yeah.
I still have enough to stab.
Well, it doesn't cost you movement to attack somebody. You just attack someone.
Okay.
It's your action.
All right. Okay, I'm going to do that.
Cool. So roll to attack.
I'm going to roll to attack. My add-on to... Fuck's sake. 6.
You strike out, and the bulbous form in front of you kind of shifts in the air and moves around your blade, as it has already seen this attack before, and you just strike out at nothing. And it kind of you swear this gurgling sound in its throat sounds like laughter. Is there anything else? Is there anything else you want to do?
There's nothing else I can do, bro.
Okay. Do me a favor. Roll a give me a perception check, please, real quick.
Okay. I've had it officially. 13.
13. You're frustrated, you're angry, and as you strike out and you miss with your blade, through the sleet storm that's still falling, you kind of look up, and off in the distance, just on the edge of that darkness, about 40 to 50 feet away, you see that glowing light again, just briefly as it flickers slightly, and you strike out. And you hear the gurgling laughter from the creature, and that glowing light just flickers for a second. Is that the end of your go? Is there anything else you want to do?
Yeah, no, that's it.
Okay, so Zara, it's into you.
I am gonna cast. What am I gonna cast? Something a bit. See, this is the thing. Magic missile is so great, but also I don't want to be boring AF.
It works.
If it works,
spells that work.
Just be like Microsoft. The shit is unsexy, but it works.
I like it. Okay, fuck it. I am going to cast that at 3rd level, which means I get 2 extra deaths. So we can just I guess the 2 nearest get 2 darts each, and the further away gets 1 further.
There's 2 right in front of you that are attacking you, and there's the one that's attacking Gray.
Right.
At your dice.
Huh?
It's counting out your dice.
I'm checking them all, because with the eyelashes and the contacts I can't see, so I need to make sure that I don't read them wrong. Oh, I still have that 1d8 my friend lent me.
Yeah.
I can add it to damage, right?
No, you add it to attack or ability saving throw. So it won't really matter on these because they already.
Oh no, then Grant, save that. Put that in my back pocket.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first guy takes 7.
7.
The second guy takes 6.
Okay.
And the third guy takes
4. One of them in front of you. So the first 2 are the ones in front of you. Is that correct?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. So the 2 nearest.
So the 2 nearest, and they just like it's kind of right in front of you at close range. So there's like these arcane flashes, as if you're just blasting them, and it's right in the guts, and the flesh starts to kind of pull away and blast apart. The last one over, Gray, takes it straight in the chest, and it blasts a large chunk of the flesh off, and it just sloughs to the ground and then just melts into nothingness. And you see this alert, and it's kind of starting to have a hard time holding itself together as it's, and you see Like the difficulty is that the part of the flesh where like it's meant to be forming an arm is now a mouth, and there's like teeth coming out the side of its body, and its face is now molding in, and it's kind of trying to pull itself back up as it kind of looms on top of Grey, getting ready to strike. It's looking pretty rough. The two in front of you are looking damaged, but this one at the back is looking pretty rough. Is there anything else you want to do at this point?
Just nope. That's
okay. Now it's into the three mimics. They are again like the noise on the roofs above you. There seems to be part of it's dying down. You can hear people cheering. There's some people have actually jumped across from one side to the other, as in between this fight seem to be helping each other out. And from what you can hear, it seems to be going quite well up there because there was quite a large amount of guards. The first one is going to attack in on Grey, multi-attack with the scimitar. That is a dirty 20 to hit the first attack.
Oh, no.
And that is, see now, stats on this fella. That is 9 points of damage into you, Grey, from the first attack. Second attack is again a roll 15 both times, and it's +5 to attack. Dirty 20 again, and that is it's 7 points of damage as the blade comes down, cutting into you, and it's just your blood is boiled now with this poison that's seeping through your veins. How badly damaged are you? How much HP have you got left?
I am on to death saves, my friend.
You're down.
Yeah.
Okay. So as the last strike goes to hit, okay, I need you to roll me a wisdom saving throw.
10.
The last strike goes to hit you, and as it comes down, that gold light that you saw in the distance is right on you, and you don't know how it happens. You don't feel anything, but your shield is all of a sudden in your hand and equipped and out in front of you, as the golden light seems to emanate around the shield, and your arcane tattoos flare up. Your fur stands on end, and it's partially Super Saiyan, like it's very much Dragon Ball Z, where your fur blazes up, and the second hit doesn't hit, and it's deflected off the shield. And it's so fast, and Zil, you see the flash of gold light, and you don't know where it came from, but it's pushed back. And there seems to be kind of a radiant burst as the mimic that was attacking you is just and is completely disintegrated against the wall. And you're left standing there, bloodied, battered, cut to pieces, poisoned, holding your once hewn and rough shield in your hand over heavy. You don't really use it, but it's now glowing with this radiant gold light as you stand huffing, catching your breath down to whatever last piece of HP that you have, and you feel rough as fuck, and you don't know what has just happened.
Right. So I'm lying there, or I'm up at
You're standing up, but you're barely up. You're leaning against the wall. The shield is equipped out of nowhere, and it's like, what the fuck? And it's like there's ringing in your ears. You can feel the arcane, the radiant hum off it, and your tattoos have brightened, and there's energy coursing through you. That was that attack. So that creature was still attacking you. So this isn't your turn. The other two are attacking Zilzara, and they're both going to try and swing in and multi-attack with their scimitars. One hits. The first one hits with a dirty 20. The second attack misses. So that is 5 points into you, Zilzara. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw for me to see you're not poisoned. Eight. You fought it off till now, but the poison starts to course through your veins. You were poisoned. Now, I rolled for the second attacker. They have a multi-attack. One of them was a nat 20. And the other one was a 19, so they both hit, and one of them was a crit. So the crit hits you for 14 points of damage.
Jesus.
And the second one hits you for, okay, that's less. Second one hits you for 6 points of damage.
I am also
You're
now
down.
to saving throws.
You're down. You're unconscious. So you're unconscious. So Gray, you look over and you just see these two creatures just hack into Zilzara, who then drops to the ground, and they're kind of shifting forms or twisting around. And he's not happy about it either. That is the end of their go. Gray, it's now into you. You're standing there. You have this shield that seems to be emanating radiant energy. You have your blade in one hand. You're staggering, and these two creatures are starting to turn towards you. What do you want to do? Zilzara lies unconscious on the ground behind them. Have a think about it. We're going to go to break. We will talk to you folks in a few minutes.
Ooh, it's so scary.
Ooh. We'll come back after the break,
what
folks.
What am I going to do? This is terrible.
We'll come back after the break, folks. We'll announce the winner of our latest giveaway, and we'll talk about the new prize from Dempsey Comics, our sponsor. So talk to you in a sec. And we're back. We're back now. Before we get back into the death and everything.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. It's time for our giveaway. So our giveaway from the last episode is this fantastic Once and Future Volume 1 deluxe edition of Book
beautiful.
1, which is like it's a beast.
You could knock somebody out with that.
You could. And we had asked the question, what is the creative team on this book? And that was the question for the giveaway. And we got quite a few entries. Can someone roll me a D6, please?
I will.
Okay.
Lucky number 4.
4. Fred Fletch.
Yeah.
Fred Fletch is the winner. I'm just looking at the listings here. I've written them all down on my iPad and 1 to 6. So Fred Fletch, congratulations. I think you've won something in the past, so I have your address. So I'll confirm that it's still valid, and we'll get this in the post to you next week. Send it over to Scotland. So yeah, Once and Future King heading its way to you, Fred. Fair play. Thanks for supporting the show.
Well done, Fred. You can finger it during Crow.
The giveaway, I don't have a physical copy of the book here with me at the moment, but I'm going to put a picture here.
Ding.
It is the book giveaway for this month is the Dungeons and Dragons official lore and legends. So this is it here. And it's a visual celebration of the 5th edition of Dungeons and Dragons, and it is a cracking book. I have it as well. I think I had it when it was first released, and it's now the new re-release with a different cover, different art and stuff. But it's a fantastic book, and it just goes through the entire history of D&D, and it's a full visual celebration. So you've got loads of artwork and design. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful book. So that's up for grabs. This month on this month's giveaway, thanks to our sponsors, Dublin City Comics. Go check them out, dublincitycomics.ie, or go into their store on Capel Street. So very, very straightforward question here. Considering it's a D&D prize, it's about the history of D&D, or visual guide to D&D. Who are the 2 creators of Dungeons and Dragons? That's their names. Anyone that, no, you can Google it, but anyone that knows their shit would know who are the 2 creators of Dungeons and Dragons.
Trixie Mattel and Katia Zara Lochakovna.
So there's two creators, two very famous, well-known gentlemen who first created Dungeons and Dragons back in 1974.
Wow.
Under
still in Holy God's pocket.
There you go. So it was designed by these two individuals and first published in 1974 under the TSR banner. So who are they? What are their names? So answers below. And answers below. Share this episode on social media, tagging Irish Pubcast, and you will be in with a chance to win that beautiful, beautiful book. I'll just do it again. Here. Ding.
Good luck.
So we're going to get back into the action now. Gray, it's into you. Top of the round. Zilla's been knocked unconscious. The two avatars, zombie avatars, mimic avatars are moving towards you. Zilla's on the far side of them. They're now moving away from her after knocking her down, and they're starting to move towards you. The fight around you has died down up above. You can hear some noises and clashes, but it's not as hectic. And this large kind of mimic form that's sitting atop of this arcane cube is becoming more sluggish. You can see that it's not as kind of lively as it was, and this necrotic kind of infection that's spread up along its body is spread out more, and it's looking weaker per se, and the crackling arcane energy around it seems to be doing a bit of damage to it as well at this point. So what do you want to do at this point?
All right, I'm in big trouble. Zill's in big trouble. She can do more damage than me, but I don't want to leave myself open to just be openly murdered on the next turn. So I'm torn between hurting them and healing her.
Okay.
She's next in the
order.
The order. So I think I'm gonna use Healing Word.
Okay.
On Zill. At third level.
At third level.
Yeah.
Okay. So Healing Word third level is 3d4 plus 3.
Yes. 12. I rolled 3 3s.
Nice. So Zilzara, you heal 12 points of hit points, 12 hit points.
Yeah.
As you kind of blink awake. And you look up and you can see that the two creatures are moving away from you. Gray, is there anything else you want to do when you're gone?
This is squeaky bum time. Let me see. Is there anything I will do?
Healing word. As far as I'm aware, you can cast Healing Word as a bonus action. So that's your bonus action. So you still have your action.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm gonna move back. I'm gonna move away from the boys a little bit.
Yeah. You're out of range of them. They're not on you yet, so you don't have to worry about them hitting you or that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna move whatever my movement allowance is away from them until I get a bit.
You've got a full 30 feet of movement on you, but you also have an action. You can still cast a spell. You can do a ranged attack. Whatever you want to do, you can still do that.
Okay, well then I'm going to. Let's see. Okay.
Zildar, be thinking about what you want to do because you're on deck next.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna cast Cloud of Daggers.
Okay.
Between me and them.
Okay.
Fill the air with spinning daggers in a cube 5 feet on each side, centered on a point you choose within range. Creature takes 4d4 slashing damage when it enters the spell's area for the first time.
Do you want to cast it? You want to cast it on them because 5 feet cube. You can cast it on them. It won't go near Zilzara. You can literally cast it on both of them.
Oh yeah, let's do that then.
They'll be on the edge of it. It'll appear on them. It won't go near Zilzara. She'll be just outside the range of it.
Very good. Let's do that then.
Okay.
Second level Cloud of Daggers.
Second level Cloud of Daggers. So roll. Yeah. So they're going to start. They're going to be in that space. So roll your damage there for that. So second level Cloud of Daggers is 4d4.
Holy moly! I rolled 3 4s out of 4.
Nice.
15. So 15 damage, and that's one of them. So will I roll again for the others?
Well, no, it's 15 damage for the cloud. So they're in the cloud.
Right.
The cloud appears. They both take 15 damage.
Okay.
So, okay. Let me see now.
Yeah, 44. I rolled 3 4s and a 3.
Okay. Okay. So, Gray just flicks his hand up in the air, and out of the ether, these spinning cloud of daggers, essentially. This spinning kind of group of daggers, like a giant blender, start to slice through the flesh of these creatures, and large chunks of it start to slough off. How do you want to finish them off, Gray?
Ooh.
Thin cloud of dancers, crown of thorns, because it just makes
I mean, they've been dealt with.
They're getting fully shish kebabbed. Like, it's a bloody mess. And Zilzara's getting like Zilzara's on the ground, and it's like there's just lumps of flesh and blood, and it's falling on top of her, just like viscous and fluid. And it's like, oh, geez, full on, like, you know, Peter Jackson gore fest, you know, full on gore fest. So, full brain dead, yeah, just like as the flesh is just torn up, and behind, like, Zilzara, up on the mimic is like writhing in pain, and you can see it's been affected by this, and you realize that these were extensions of it, that like were a defense mechanism that it attacked with. It wasn't necessarily attacking by itself, but these kind of mimic avatars were part of it, and as the two in front of you get diced up and the cloud of dagger eventually dissipates, because it does last. It's one action, concentration up to 1 minute. So you can drop the concentration if you want, in order for it to, for the daggers to go away, and then you're just left with a piling mass of heaving flesh as it just melts away into the floor. And you hear, as all of this kind of transpires, you kind of see Zilzara from your vantage point, covered in goo, looking up. You see a couple of heads poke out from the rooftops, and one of them is a guard, and she looks down and she kind of pulls her helmet off, and the sweat and gore covered face, and she looks down and she's like, "You all right down there? It was a bit of a hectic one."
Yeah, I think we're good now. Thanks to, you know, my kitty cat friend.
Right, yeah, you seem to have found it yourselves well. Fair play. You stay where you are. We're going to send some of the race officials down to deal with you in a second. All right? And she kind of pokes her head back around. Gray, your shield has returned to its normal wooden self all of a sudden. As you notice and look down, that radiant energy has dissipated and kind of vanished off, and it's just a normal wooden shield now on your arm.
So even though, I mean, my tattoo's lit up, so it's probably due to my current infection, but I still think it's my friend.
So, your friend?
My friend from way back.
Yeah.
The original owner of the shield. So even though, in a Liverpudlian flair for the melancholy, I think it's my friend, even though it's probably what's happened to me since.
So what do you two want to do? Zilzara is drippings with goo, and you're in tatters. You've been sliced to pieces, and the poison is starting to dissipate from your bodies. You can feel it drain off.
I'm gonna wipe some of this goo off, as best I can. Kind of get to my feet and say, "Gray, I think we need to get the fuck out of here."
Yeah, so that was horrible. I'm so glad you're okay.
That was
awful.
You seem to take a bit of a battering.
Yeah, it's rough. I mean, I don't know how close we are to getting to lie down, but we picked up potions before, right?
Yeah, I have a potion of haste.
We got
Oh,
any
sorry,
healing
you mean healing
potions?
potions?
Yeah.
Yeah, there should be some in our stash.
Okay.
I also got some information about where we need to go next, which we will need to at least wash before we go. But yeah, I could do with getting the hell out of here, getting
Yeah,
back.
I'd love to
ship.
investigate what happened, but I just haven't got it in me right now.
Yeah,
Couldn't be arsed.
the curiosity is not strong in you today.
No. It nearly did get me, yeah. So.
Is it worth staying around here to find out more, or do you reckon we just hightail it?
I think a lot of this is the course, but I'm sure there's like a boarding house or something. But is the ship too far?
Is the ship too far? Tim?
It's about a half hour. Like everywhere in this city, it's like Dublin. Everywhere in the city is a half an hour walk.
Half an
So
hour.
yeah, it's so you could make your way back to the ship if you just want. And
No,
as
I
you're
think
yeah,
if we find a tavern or a boarding house or something close by, that would be great. Or even I'm sure the Cog and Sprocket could hide us if we don't have too far to go.
it's your call. Wherever you want to go, you can go.
We try and find a place with wine.
Oh, wine. Oh, and maybe they have a bath out back. Okay, listen. I think we'll go in the direction of the ship. So if we don't find somewhere wine and a bath, at least we're nearly home.
Agreed.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
Let's do it. Operation Self-Care.
You start to kind of make your way down, and you notice that Zilzara, you kind of notice that the only real way down from here is back down the way you came up. So it's down through the building and through the debris.
Down again.
So you shimmy your way down, but as you're going down, you notice that the guards and the race officials, and one of them is you see a race official starting to come down the gangplank from where the darkness is, which is now starting to kind of fade as well, as it's very obvious that the race has been called off, and they're putting up cordons and barriers, and someone's trying to get your attention, but you're already making your way. But you look up and you see that they're starting to put arcane warding around the now heavily shrunken and shriveled looking Gargantuan Mimic. It's decrepit, and its mouth is lolling, and is like drool and viscous coming out, and the crackling energy of the cube is completely been basically deactivated, as these warding bonds are being put up around it by spellcasters, and they're trying to kind of corral it and keep it in place, and figure out what the fuck to do with it. But the area around, as you're starting to make your way, I take the two of you are going down to the building. Go.
Yep. If the only way is down, we're going.
You make your way back around and down into the building, carefully picking your way across the debris. And there's you see now, as you're moving through, absolutely jaded and tired, because the two of you are pretty low. And Zil, you got brought up there with the HP, but like Gray, you were down to 6 HP at the end there. But you're like, both of these are knackered tired. You're so tired. But there's just destruction everywhere across all the streets, and there's crowds that are being cordoned off by, like, Lucky Loos that have been cordoned off by the guards and trying to keep everyone in place. But this is a town by pirates, run by pirates, for pirates. So everyone is trying to find out what the story is here. And you kind of pick your way through. Think the end of a Die Hard film, where there's always like that shot that they pull out, where like there's a McLean and his wife are going off in an ambulance, and there's a shot of all the airplanes and the debris and all that type of stuff. So it's literally the debris, the mimic is hanging in the air, and it's just all these cordons off, and guards are trying to keep people at bay out of the space, and you're pushing out into the din, and a few of them give you a look, but given your state and you're covered in goo, you're cut the fuck, and these are just tired looking, and they're just letting you go. Nobody really stops you. And you're back out onto the streets, and more people are rushing forward, and you're trying to go against the kind of flow of people as they're moving in to see what happened here. The street is decimated. There's the hole, and now that you're up close to it, where the Gargantuan Mimic came out, it's like a massive cavernous drop down into the caverns below in the city, where you see as you saw before when you went down into the underground of the city, those long cables and kind of arcane symbols that are etched into the road flow under, and it's where all the power goes from these giant mimics that are seemingly powering the city. This one in particular, moving out of that space, it's all dead. And there's nothing, no life. There's no. It's like it's a dank hole that you can just sink down into. You're moving along for about 15 or so minutes, and you come across a small, kind of unassuming tavern, and it's just got a symbol outside, and it's like an old wooden kind of hanging symbol. It's just a large ship, and it just says across it says Sail of Stars is the name of it. And it's a couple of windows at the front, a large double door, and it's the first one you come across as you walk along the street that's still open and still seems to have, like, because as you've gone along, a lot of the places that had light and it's starting to get dark now, there's no arcane light. But then you get a couple of streets along and you start to see that there's now energy in this part of the city, and this is the first tavern that you come across that seems to be actually occupied and active.
Yeah, we're going in.
I guess we're going in.
You make your way in, and there's a few customers in the place, a few patrons dotted around at different tables. There's a few at the bar propped up, a few barflies that probably haven't moved from there in a long while.
I'm gonna find the darkest corner and go.
Yeah, there's a couple of little alcoves at the back, and it's like, it's deceptive. It's like one of those pubs that looks small on the outside, but when you go in, it's really long. And it goes back very far, and it goes. Like, the bar is on the left-hand side of the space, and it takes up the entire area. And then there's a double door that seems to go into, as the double doors are swinging back and forth, the smell of food hits you. And in your tired and hungry state, it smells amazing. And there's steam kind of piling out of the doors, and there's waiters and bringing large plates of, like, just stews and meats and cheeses and around to everyone and dropping them at tables. And at the back, kind of off in the right hand corner, you find a couple of different alcoves with you can actually pull across curtains and have privacy.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna
Let's
make
do
a
that
beeline for one of those.
Yeah, if we could just walk down there without having to ask them, we're going to do that.
You give a nod to the barkeep and you kind of gesture, and they kind of point at the alcove as you get in, and they kind of wave over, and they'll, you get the impression that somebody will be able to take your order shortly. Cool. So, what do you want to do here?
We're just, well, I want to chit chat, and whether Zill wants to do that or not is her prerogative. But
I think Zill, as long as Zill doesn't have to talk, she'll, like, reluctantly listen to you if you want to get some things off your chest.
No, it's just I'm being really annoying because I'm just like, I didn't like that feeling when Zill was out, and so I'm being needy, but I know that I'm not supposed to be, like, talking to her that much, so I'm just like like doing these little looks like, are you okay?
And she's doing her, like, fuck off.
yeah and, and I'm reading that, and I care enough about you to not want to be.
It's literally the Avengers scene at the end of Avengers where they're just all eating shawarma, just not even talking to each other, just like covered in shit, and everything's decimated around.
We did, or sorry, Zill anyway had that sensation that somebody was trying her, that itch in the back of her head that you were saying earlier. I am gonna ask Ray about that. What do you think it was?
Oh, hey, so
sorry, I felt it. Did you get it too?
Yeah, I did.
It was.
I feel like I was being taken away, but mostly I felt like I was being reminded of something.
I felt like I was being watched.
Yeah, do you think it was benevolent? Did you feel soothed by it? I don't know. I felt less alone, but I don't know that I felt very soothed by it.
I'm like, can I do a roll that would actually...
Yeah, you can give me an Arcana check.
Arcana check?
Yeah.
Oh, 22.
22. So you kind of remember back to the feeling, and you remember that it happened just as you started to cast spells in the situation. And as you're describing this to to Gray, you also remember that it happened when you were casting spells, just as you began to cast spells, but also in the back of your mind, you were wondering where Zilzara was. And Zilzara, you sitting there, and you kind of like, okay, so you were actually thinking of me, wondering where I was. You were casting spells. I was casting spells. And then we both felt it at the same time. Was this, and you kind of start to figure out, maybe it's a connection we have because of all of this. Because we were in close proximity to each other. And you were essentially using your arcane abilities, and I was using my arcane abilities. And there was a need to communicate in some way, or even let each other know that we were there. And that's what it kind of, as you remember back, it didn't feel like it was somebody trying to push their way in to take control. It was somebody trying to push their way in to communicate. It was more of a communication. Outside of that, you both rolled very high on your saves. So therefore, your shields stayed up to block any interference. If you rolled lower, you connect.
Right.
If you roll high, you don't connect. That's the way it works. So previously when it's happened, you both have rolled, one of you or both of you have rolled low on the wisdom save. And depending on who rolls the lowest, or if you both roll low, you connect and realize that you're connected. And if you don't, if one of you rolls high, the other one rolls low, the one that rolls high, they don't get intruded on, but the other person does. And they feel the connection, but the other person doesn't. So this is, with that higher roll, you start to figure this out. As you're talking back and forth, you start to realize we actually now have some form of arcane psychic connection, but it takes us willingly dropping our mental shields to allow each other in.
So now that we know this, now that we know we have the connection, can we use it to our advantage? I'm guessing the connection is this mind connection is a result of the tattoos connected to that. So if we now know if we're in a similar situation again, if we get that feeling rather than have the reaction, oh well, it's based on a throw though.
Well, no, so you work it out between yourselves. It's now a willing thing. So it's like, it's again, it's because you rolled quite high. So if you are both willing to allow each other to connect, you can. It's not, so you were trying to previously you weren't aware of what it was, so you were rolling a save to see if your mental walls stayed up or down. Now that you know what it is, you can allow those walls to drop without having to roll.
Cool. Right.
Okay, so it's a psychic connection between the two is that you can automatically use if you need to, but you haven't tested it fully. You don't know the range of it. You don't know, like, you can just start thinking and the other person will hear you if you're both receptive to allowing the connection. There can also be times where you don't want the connection, where one of you will try to connect and you'll go, no, I don't want to do that right now. That could be an option. It's just not, it's not an automatic thing. You both have to be willing. That has to be allowed to happen. Otherwise, then, if you're trying to force it, there has to be a roll because you're trying to push down the walls.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't try and talk to me between 4 and 5. That's Willie's time.
So if we have this connection, does that mean it'll work with others who have the tattoos?
Oh, that's a thought.
Or is it just because it's us?
Ooh, We probably have to try. Who do we know that has them now? Well, we could try and talk to Mingna right now, but I don't know that she'd be able to pick them up anyway. Even if she does have that ability, she might not be strong enough.
Yeah. I think it's something that maybe you and I should test when we're feeling up to it. And see where it takes us, and maybe when Mingna is strong enough, we can bring her in too.
You also have Viklamir, who's back at the ship.
Yeah.
The one that you brought on, the twitchy one. She also has the tattoos as well, so you're aware of that.
Yeah. Wayne, I'm going to try and force one without asking Zill, and it's just me thinking about a fish and saying fish, 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 fish. And that's basically it. I'm running a test without telling her, so I'd have to roll for it.
So you'd both have to roll for this. And if Zill gets high, you don't get through. But then Zill is aware. If you roll lower than Zill, she's aware that you've tried it.
What am I rolling? A D20?
Roll wisdom saving throw.
Oh, sorry, wisdom saving throw. Yeah. What is that again?
Same for me, Wayne.
Yeah, both these roll it.
Okay. Of course. Now I get a B for the most useless roll in the whole game.
I got a 9.
A 9. So all of a sudden, Zilzara, you feel this. It's kind of like, again, great. Describe it. Is it like frantic? Is it frenetic? Is it like how do you think about fish?
It's very obviously the first thing Gray thought of when it was, what's a thought I would have? It was a picture of a fish and the word fish, 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 fish in my voice over and over again. Some people have brains that don't receive pictures, so this is kind of like testing the entire AV setup. You know, I'm just saying.
So as this happens, Zilzara, you like this the waitress rocks up and she's like, "All right, Diz, what can I get you?" And the first thing in your mind is just fish, and it's like. Like, do you want you can't, like, you weren't able to resist it. It's pushed into your head. It's the first thing you see, and it's just you just hearing Gray's voice and like fish, 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 and you kind of just go fish, and your one's like, well, I'd have to see if we have any.
No, cancel that. You, shut up.
It worked.
Yes. With some warning.
I'll talk later. We'll order food now. I'll talk later.
Also, I don't think ordering fish in this place is a good idea.
No, I was just thinking about a fish.
Oh, okay. Give me wine, and some sort of meat platter. Actually, do you happen to have a use of a hot bath?
We do have rooms that have a hot bath. Yeah, we can, of course. She kind of looks you up and down. It's like, I'll tell them to get the hot water on straight away for you.
Oh,
that would be good.
Yeah. You can talk to I can talk to the bot. We can add it to a tab if you wish. You can pay when you're finished. Yeah. Rooms, boards, the food, everything. Are you boarding together or separately? 2 separate rooms, 1 room?
I answered too quickly. Together.
I guess we're boarding together.
Okay, lovely. That's no problem.
A cot for him is fine.
Oh, right. Okay, yes, separate. Okay, yeah. Just kind of just nods and she's just writing it all down. Wine, meat platter, but and for you, dear, looks great. And for you, dear, what would you like?
I saw stew, right?
We have a stew. Yes, we've got meat stew. We've got vegetable, and then non-discriminative parts as well for those who don't like meat or veg. So just general stuff.
Yeah, can I get your heartiest stew, please? And if you have like a mead or strong ale?
Sure, that's no problem. Writes it all
That'd be
down.
great.
I'll be right back with all of your orders, and we'll arrange the room and the hot bath for you.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much.
And she kind of wanders off, looks back a wee bit, and gives you both a look, taking you both in, and then goes off to get everything arranged. And within about 20 minutes or so, everything, the food all arrives in, the drinks arrive in, and she's like, the rooms are arranged, and she drops a kind of a key with a chain on it, a keychain on it. There's your room, and the hot water will be available for you within the next 40 minutes in the room.
Thank you.
You're more than welcome.
Thanks.
But she heads back, kind of off, checking on the other patrons.
Okay, so that's us set up for the next while. After we've eaten and I've had a bath, I don't know about you, I'm gonna have to go for a lie down. That
Oh yeah.
I appreciate the healing you did on me, but whoo.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm spent. We worked really hard on that. I hope there's some reward in it for us, experience-wise. Yeah, that was awful.
And gross. I think if we can recuperate here, and venture out either. I was going to say either later today, but
it is getting on in the evening. It's starting like night is
exactly.
Falling.
It could be the morning at this stage.
Yeah.
If we can rest and then venture out and see about the tips I got from the alchemist, the followers of Saloon,
followers of Saloon. Saloonites is what they're called.
Saloonites. And see what information we can drum up. Because I've had enough of entrails for now.
I hear that.
You know, I was expecting to have to do a lame race today and just got covered in goo instead. I think I'm done.
I wonder how it's gonna disrupt everybody. It seems like a real industry here, that race. Seemed like everybody was tooled up for it. So I wonder if they're gonna do it again.
And what's it gonna mean for the power for this place as well? Like, I think we need, well, certainly I want some answers to that too. But yeah, do you know what? Just need some wine right now. And do you know what? You can talk. Just I might sing an easily ignored air.
Okay.
Yeah, some nice background music.
So you have your food, you rest a bit, you enjoy the silence that's like just not talking while you eat and drink, and you're informed that your room is ready, and your bath is ready, hot water for cleaning. You can retire whenever you want to, whatever you want here at this point. This is your call. Do you just want to continue talking or just want to retire to the room?
No, I want to crash out.
Cool. So you both make your way up, and there's a large tub, and like it's one room, but it's like it's kind of cut up into sections by curtains that you can pull. And there's a large kind of metal tub that's filled with steaming hot water, and there's like lavender and all these different kind of scents, and large tubs and everything like that. But it's actually quite a nice setup, even for this type of place. But they've got a good setup. And there's enough water to cover 2 tubs full, so you can both have a bath and relax and clean up and get yourselves sorted, and then crash if you want, whatever. Is there anything else you want to do this evening?
Well, Sil doesn't sleep, she meditates, but she is looking for somewhere dark and quiet to do that, so she might as well be asleep.
Yeah.
No, there's nothing else that for Sil at the minute. She's just after the day and after the unexpected fish intrusion. It's been.
Oh, honey, you rang, honey.
You're serving fish, honey.
We don't say that anymore, but we're women. It's okay.
Yes.
Guys, every now and again, Kim just looks down, so you just see the top of her head. It's just like just a big bushel of blonde craziness.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I'm still like so over this at this
So you clean out the wounds that you've had. The poison has now left your bloodstream. You're feeling a lot more refreshed. You've kind of cleaned off any of your armor and made any mended as much as you can, and it's everything's looking a bit more cleaner. You're feeling more refreshed. Gray, is there anything you want to do before end of the night?
Oh, I'm wrecked.
Okay.
I nearly died.
Yeah. Zelzara, you go into a trance. You start meditating. Gray, you curl up and straight to sleep. Just like proper, just after having a bath, so relaxed. Your fur is dried out, and you're just out cold. You drift off into a dark sleep, and it's reminiscent of the darkness that you ran through. And every now and again, you're dreaming of that golden light. And the more it appears in your dream, the more it starts to take some form of humanoid shape. But you still can't make it out.
Right.
Roll me a wisdom saving throw, please.
13.
You feel something warm and fuzzy on the edge of your consciousness. It's not threatening. It's not dangerous. It's not giving off that vibe of danger. It's warm. It's welcoming, and you feel safe, but you still can't make it out fully. You don't know exactly what it is. It's like it's just on your peripheral, just out of reach, and you just drift off into a dreamless sleep, just darkness, out cold. Zelzara, you were about to say something there.
I was, because to kind of quiet her mind, she's going to use her crystal amulet thing that her mother gave her to kind of get in the meditation zone. And sometimes because she's attuned to it, sometimes it can give her insights and stuff. So
cool.
If it helps.
So you find yourself going off into a trance, and you've done this so many times now, and you hold your focus in your hand and you stretch your mind out, and you can sense all the denizens of the Sail of Stars, and as they kind of go about their evening, and some of them off late into the night, and you leave that behind as your mind kind of wanders out into the city. And you see over it, and you can see the remnants of what that fight was. You can see the remnants of the Mimic as they start to kind of ward and remove it and take it down, as that arcane cube is lowered and the Mimic is taken away. And you kind of, it's like you're soaring high, looking out over the kind of, and you can see the curve of the city now as the globe of the Flotsam is in front of you. And you can see off down towards the docks. And there seems to be a green light kind of beaming up into the sky from the direction of where the ship should be, where the Silver Spear is. And you find yourself floating towards that and floating around, and you're hovering above the docks. You can see that silver beam shooting straight out from where the ship is. You see the dotted people walking along the deck, and you just make out Carabash giving orders as more equipment is loaded on and more kind of the trade continues as they load up supplies and food and everything, just ready to set sail whenever they're ready to set sail.
Does it look sorry, does it look like there's the normal hustle and bustle of them packing up the ship, but does it look like the events of today has caused any kind of reaction amongst them, or is it just looks like a normal loading day?
Roll me a perception check, please.
Okay, fine then.
Kim, have you fallen asleep?
No. I'm looking at what I wrote earlier. My notes are the computer's up and my notes are underneath.
Yeah.
It's a 21.
21. So your mind is stretched out and you notice that there is a heightened presence of armed guards across all sections of the city. And there's no difference here at the docks. There's guards everywhere. And you can see them questioning and stopping and talking, and it's a heightened sense of security. And you can feel as your mind swoops down and you kind of see all this happen, you take it in. You can feel the tension. It's like something is starting to boil, and there's something that's been sown in this city. There's a distrust, and you can actually now see that there are some ships getting ready to set sail and leave as you move along the dock. Your mind is kind of pulled back slightly as you kind of take it all in, and then roll me a wisdom saving throw at this point.
11.
You get a kind of a flash of Grey, as Grey's warmth and safety and that feeling that Grey had in their dream reaches you. And it's like this warm, welcoming light that you're not used to at all. And you don't know how to react to it. It's like, but it's coming from Grey and Grey's mind. And you see in your mind's eye, you see a glint of gold, and you see a humanoid shape, briefly. And it's not cold, it's warm. And then it's gone. As Grey reach the climax of their dream with that figure and that feeling, and then they drift off as your minds touch each other again, and you share that moment. And Grey isn't aware of it, but you felt it as your mind is reaching out. The green light that is emanating from the silver spear flickers. And you swear as it pierces out through the void and into the night, you see cracks in the void, in the star-lit sky, start to form as the green path of light pierces out into infinity. And then all of a sudden you hear and you were pulled back into reality as someone is hammering on your door of the room. Hello? Is the city guard? We would like to have a quick word if you are awake.
Did we get our long rest? Do you think were we?
Oh yeah, you got your long rest. This is now morning. As Grey, you kind of stir, and it's like this. The light is starting to beam in through the windows, and it is morning time now. I'm
hopping up, and I go to the door.
Grey, you pull the door open, and
hey, what's up?
You see in full armor, helmets tucked under their arms, 3 guards, human male with long kind of brown hair tied back, and then behind him you see a tall half-orc male, and then a female tiefling, and they're kind of just looking at you, and they kind of look you up and down. And the female tiefling, you kind of half recognize from being on the rooftop,
right?
At the fight, and the human male just turns and goes, "Are these the ones?" And she's like, "Yes, I do believe it was them. Greetings to you. We did not meet. I saw you from a distance at the relay of the race yesterday. afternoon, evening. You were present for the altercation with the, and she kind of gestures large, and she's like the mimic.
Yeah.
She kind of like, and Zildara, I don't know where you are at this point.
Yeah.
You've come out of your trance, like so.
Yeah.
Well, we've been asked to escort you to meet with the council. Following your involvement with the altercation, I suppose. Can you please accompany us? It's not far from here.
To the station?
No, we're going to the council chambers. At the lodge. It's the, I mean, surely it's the leaders, the council. Like they've sent for you. The pirate council, the rulers of the city.
We're visitors here. We don't know who the hell you're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, they're basically our leaders for now. The main captains of the ships that run the city, make all the decisions, run the guard. That's who they are. They've asked for your presence because you were seen at this altercation with Danny. You see that this seems to be a kind of a lieutenant who's not used to being polite and asking things nicely. He's like, you need to come with us, right? We need to bring you there. We've been asked, charged to bring you there. You need to come. Just grab your stuff. You're not in trouble. It's not dangerous. They just want to have a few words.
I mean, we went through a hell of a day yesterday. Are there other people going to? There were lots of strangers. There were lots of people taking part in the race. Any reason for the special interest in us?
The tiefling, she chimes, well, you are the ones who fought. Nobody else was attacked. You fought.
All right, that sounds right, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I guess.
Yeah, we go, Zil?
Yeah, like, might as well see what they have to say.
They wait
don't
for you to
seem bothered by our tattoos or anything, do they?
No, they're not at all. They're just kind of like, these are just Towns Guard, like they're basically, as you remember, the Towns Guard are made up of the crews of some of the ships they're on rotation. So these are crew members of ships that are on rotation within the guard, and they kind of are just there to escort you by the looks of it. And they wait for you to get your stuff ready, and they start to walk you downstairs. And the half orc turns like, your bill's been taken care of, so it's all right. They don't have to pay. So it's on the council. So
that's great. We like that.
Or
and he just kind of nods at the barkeep, who just gives them a wave, and you see the waitress from the night before, the elderly waitress. She gives you a nod, and they're kind of all looking at each other going like, who are these two being taken away by the guards to meet the council type of situation. And you're escorted out of the Sail of Stars out into the street again, and you're going to go off. Yeah, go in a direction you haven't been before. You go kind of towards the central part of the city, and it's about a 15-20 minute walk, and you find yourself kind of now in a central area as you walk, winding through the streets, and there's people hustling and bustling, and off in the distance you can see that where the mimic was in the sky, where it's gone out, but there's still cordons and barriers around that street as you go past it, heading in towards the center of the town. You wind through streets and small kind of passageways, and you come out into a large courtyard, a huge, like, circular kind of town square as such. And in the center you see a large kind of ornate fountain, but there's nothing flowing in it. But on the ornate fountain you see a kind of a large kind of obelisk shape, and at the top of it there's a massive star, a 5-pointed star, that kind of streaks out in different. It's not all even, so it's all in different kind of jagged shapes, and it's all made up of kind of corrugated metal, all welded together. And the obelisk itself is kind of like crimson in color, and it's just central. And there's a massive plaque on it that basically says the conglomerate of the Flotsam. And it's kind of like a commemorative plaque commemorating the city. The guards lead you around, and there's hustle and bustle. There's loads of people. There's a couple of market stalls in this kind of circular town square-ish, or town circle. and the market stalls dotted around. There's people hustling and bustling, going about their business. But they walk you through the central section of this and past the large obelisk, getting up towards a huge set of double gates, wrought iron gates, that are on these huge pillars. And there's guards again, 2 sets of guards on either side. And the guards give them a nod, and the gates are like pushed back and open, and you're gestured to follow in. And you find yourself walking up a winding kind of cobblestone street that's lined by the odd hedge here and there, like hedge pillars that are trimmed, and in between each pillar there's a guard. And there seems to be a high concentration of guards here. You're brought up, and there's like the winding kind of cobblestone opens out into a large kind of front area, like a garden. And there's guard houses on either side, and then it leads up to the front of this 3-story building that is a mishmash. It's like a lot of the buildings here. It's a mishmash of different architectures, and made of different materials. You can see in some of them it's very obvious that parts of these used to be ships. Other parts have been repurposed and redesigned. But it's a huge space, and it's got massive double doors at the front. And again, that star symbol that you saw is adorned right above the archway of these doors. You're brought in, there's guards there, the doors are opened, and you step into this huge hallway that leads up. And it's like, again, there's all these plaques and kind of standards that are all draped along the walls that all bear what look like different symbols and standards of ships and crews. And they've got captains' names embedded in them. I think it's a really weird comparison, but you know, in golf clubs where they have like team members,
Yeah,
and they've got all the different team members and team captains of every year. There's a captain's name, and then there's a date and a timestamp, and some of them are going back hundreds and hundreds of years for these crews and ships. And these standards line the walls of this whole corridor that leads up to another set of double doors. And it takes you a good 5 to 10 minutes walking up, and it's like your footsteps are echoing through this hall, on the floor, and there's guards posted everywhere. The double doors open up into a huge chamber, and in this chamber it's filled with people on either side, kind of privateers, brigands, crew members, all decked out in their gear, armor, weaponry, all fully armed. Different crews, all intermingling, all chatting, drinking. It's like a large conference dining hall, but there's no tables or chairs. They're all just dotted around the place. Some people are sitting on stools, some people are just standing, and it's a huge mingling, kind of melting pot of different races, all different crews, all wearing different colors. Just a complete rainbow-filled room of teeming with life. And up the top of the room, you see a set of stairs that rise up to a long table, and there's 3 large high-back chairs behind this table, and in each of the chairs you see an individual. In the center there's a female tiefling with pointed, curled black horns that kind of come up and around her hair, that is shock white and tied back into a tight bun. And then she has braids that go down, all white braids that go down this side, but her black horns curl backwards and kind of match the trajectory of her hair. She's got long pointed ears, fiery red skin, and that is like against her white hair. It's shock crimson red, and large kind of like black eyes that are pupilless, so just solid black. And she's standing there looking over, standing at her chair, but she's looking over like what look like maps and schematics. To her right, there is another large chair, and in that chair there's a huge 6.5 foot tall dragonborn. Again, crimson, but the crimson scales are mixed flecked with orange and yellow that stripe through his entire kind of complexion. He has 2 large horns that go to curl back and come around the front here and kind of encase his face. And he's got pointed ears and a jutted out jaw that have spikes that come down that make them look like it's like a chin strap beard, but it's all spikes, all red crimson. And he has his yellow teeth poke out from underneath kind of his maw, and he has got large piercing ice blue eyes, and he's kind of leaning head in hand, poring over books and ledgers that are piled high on this side. He's wearing long robes kind of bluish in color with large pauldrons, and you see a large staff that's leaning against the wall next to his chair. The female tiefling as well is in full armor as well. She has full armor. There is a shield rested on the table in front of her, and there's a blade as well. And then to her left, in this tall, high-backed chair, barely visible, you see a small halfling form, a male halfling, orange hair, shock, like just springing back up, like it's gelled back from his head, mottled complexion, rosy cheeks, bulbous nose, and large pointed ears. Standing next to him is a large gold automaton who is just holding piles and piles of scrolls and books for him. As he piles over them, he has what looks like a large kind of multi-tool in his hand, and it's oversized, but he's holding it and he's kind of spinning it like a fidget spinner in his hand as he reads over these books. In front of him, there's a large tankard and it's foaming over with ale. And you're brought forward in front of them by the guards, who kind of like clear the throat and announce both of you like, we have brought as requested. And they kind of gesture towards the two of you, and the three look up and they kind of look at each other, and the female figure steps forward. Welcome to the Pirate Council. We hear you have had quite the adventure. Please do enlighten us. And that's where we're going to leave this month's episode of Sorcery and Shenanigans. Thank you so much for watching. We hope you've enjoyed it. Thankfully, our players did not die following some tough combat. Props to the ladies for their full drag throughout. Great job. Well done. Thank you again, once again, to our sponsors, Dublin City Comics. Go check them out, dubblincitycomics.ie. Enter into the competition. Who are the two creators of Dungeons and Dragons when it was first published in 1974? Answers below. Share the video. Tag Irish Pubcast. I've been your DM Wayne. This has been Trixie Mattel and Katya. Until next time, folks. Have a good one. Stay safe. Look after each other. Bye.
Bye, Gorge.
Bye.